Yo, what's going on, folks? Bringing you another DSA Roundtable. Got my man Luke G in the building. What's going on, Luke?
That's me beatboxing y'all asses. Let's get this thing going, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Y'all know me. If it's talking sports, I'm all up for it. Let's do it.
I love it. I love it. You know, right below him we got Easy. What's going on, Easy?
What up? I done got the ducking and shot. I was getting shot at in the goddamn car.
Hey,
what was that?
Hey, you gotta sometimes, when I come through, putting in that work, you gotta duck sometimes. Just sometimes.
The 5 Ds, duck, dodge, dip, dive, dodge.
Facts.
Amen.
Right, that's too funny. Well, let's jump into it, boys. It's been, a couple days since we had a roundtable, so let's see what we got. First up, we got Dan Campbell saying that he wants to get a real lion down in Detroit. Luke, what do you think about that?
I hated it. I talked about it earlier, or I think it was yesterday I talked about it. I hate the idea of it. I just don't care at this point. Like, I get the general idea and the general concept of trying to have motivation and showing toughness, but who in the hell cares? I mean, Florida has had Gators. Georgia has had Bulldogs. Texas have had Longhorns. I don't give a crap. The only thing I'm going to care about at this point is, can you motivate these men to perform day in and day out in practice and on Sundays and on Mondays and on Thursdays? And to me, I'm at the point now where it's like, look, you already sold me on you. I believe in you. I don't need nothing else. Let's get it. I don't need no damn lion. I don't need no lucky lion's paw. The only thing he can do that'll make that more entertaining to kind of send a message home is to show up to practice one day with a goddamn lion coat or something, like he from the Princess of Zamunda, right? Like, if he's not doing that, I don't really care.
Right.
I just don't.
That's funny. Easy, what do you think about that, man? I mean, he wants to bring an actual lion down.
I say cage that motherfucker up and put it on the visiting sideline. Baby, let's go.
Baby, let's go.
But listen, you don't think that's real gimmicky? Like, that's like some gimmick stuff?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think he truly meant it. Because the show that he was on is called Part of My Take, and they're like a silly, gimmicky kind of show anyway. So I think he was just like going along with with him pretty much. They're a barstool show, so they're like really loosey goosey. They say some wild shit and like I don't truly think that like he meant that.
Right. I mean, when I heard it at first, I was like, "Yo, that's pretty hype." He's trying to like, just get everyone excited and stuff. And then I thought about it a little bit, and I'm like, it's kind of some weird shit to want. Like, this ain't the circus.
I just look at it and I say, like, what is it supposed to do? Like if you're trying to tell them they need to embody the heart of a lion, what is it trying to do? You can literally go on YouTube and put on a number of lion videos and see the embodiment of a lion. It's the second biggest cat in the cat family, and so you don't need a lot of motivation. It's on your helmet. When you hear the word lion, lions usually come with the word pride and dignity and integrity and stuff. So I get what he's doing. He's trying to keep the motivation pushed up with the fan base. He's doing the PR stuff for the coaching staff and the players. I get it. He's still putting out them calls for it, but I don't see no damn lion. I don't.
Right. I mean, one thing I think about, though, is like, I don't want him to get stuck in the rut of, well, I already have this biting kneecaps personality type stuff. Like, I got to continue it and, like, just keep trying to one up. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, just try and living up to an image instead of just doing what he wants to do.
Right. Yeah. That's my worry, where he becomes so robotic to the BS that it's like, yo, I don't want that. I want you to feel good about the product. I want you to understand what we're putting out and understand that what you did is enough. You don't got to do anything extra. It's enough what you did. And so for me, that's what I'm looking for. It's funny, I guess, but if we were the Hornets and he was like, yeah, I want to put a Hornets nest and it's at the stadium, we'd be going, you're a fucking idiot. So right. I'm good on that. Let me just the talking is good At this point, I want to see more.
No, I feel you, man. I feel you. I mean, it's nice because like he's trying to, do some excitement, but I hope it doesn't just continue to where it's more of like a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want us to be known as like, oh, down in Detroit, like these guys are always doing some dumb shit, like whatever,
See, I'm not even worried about that. I think the biggest story is what he did in creating competition amongst his coaches at the rookie minicamp. When you got people on the sideline on defense talking to the offensive people like, hey, if you want that person to get through camp, don't send their ass through here no more. And they're not even in pads. I like that more. That should have been the story. This whole lying stuff, I can care less. I can care less. I want to know about how are you motivating the players? How are you motivating the coaches? The PR stuff, that's for somebody else to do on the Detroit Lions. Your PR stuff is going to come when you win.
Right. So, I thought it was funny because he pretty much was like, yeah, I'll give up my arm, to win a Super Bowl. So I want to ask you guys, what would you give up for the Lions to actually win a Super Bowl?
What would I give? What would I give up for us to get a Super Bowl?
I give a couple fingers.
You know what? I can't.
Wait. Which fingers? That's a real question.
I need those shocker fingers for sure. So I'll probably give them. Actually, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? If we get a Super Bowl, shit, I can put my money on the Super Bowl. I can buy a fake finger after.
You know what? I'll give up apples. Apples is my favorite fruit. You put that on anything and I'll eat it. I'll give up apples. If you knew how serious it is for me and apples, you would understand that that's a hell of a sacrifice for me.
That is a weird thing to give up, bro. I'm thinking about giving up like my first fucking child, and you're talking about
hell no. Nah, if you gotta sweeten the pot a little thicker. It's like somebody come up to you and be like, hey, how much for me to sleep with your wife? It's like, what? Now that's a wrong thing to do to a person. But if you show up and you be like, I got
10,000 apples,
10,000. No. I'm saying like if they come up and be like, I got like $10 million, the pot a little bit sweeter. I might be like, hey, what the hell you doing today? Him, $10 million, 10. Listen. I could buy my emotions and pride back. This 10 million. Take shit. What the hell? But I'm just saying. To me, if he said he willing to give an arm, I get it. I understand what it is. BD Buzzer said, I'll donate plasma. Like, I get it, but I just feel like, at this point, I want it, but I want it to be sustainable. I don't just want one.
Right.
I want it to be sustainable. I want to be able to have the Lions start to catch up to some of these other teams in their Super Bowl count.
Yeah, I mean, even just being a consistent playoff contender, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of teams that have had that, annual success, right? I mean, you look at the Saints, you look at the Patriots, you look at the Steelers, Green Bay, whatever. Like, all these teams are consistently going to the playoffs. And if we can get there, I'll be happy. Obviously, the ultimate goal is getting to the Super Bowl and winning. But being in the playoffs consistently means that you are a good team. You are a good football team. And no one can talk shit, and you can talk shit.
Facts. And like I said, it's one of the things that, when it comes to what you're willing to give up, just for that one, some people would do that who may be on their way off this earth. But I'm just saying, I want the consistent winner. I want to have that pride. If you ask me that same question and be like, what would I be willing to give up for a 6 or 7 year run? Now, yeah, you can have a few fingers and toes. Hell, what the hell? I don't need them.
How many Super Bowls out of that 6 or 7 year run though?
Give me 4.
Damn, son.
What the hell?
Give me 4. I'm not picky. I just think 4 out of that 6 or 7, that's pretty damn fair. That's pretty fair. I think y'all acting like I'm asking for them to reinvent the wheel. I just want them to, give me
4 Super Bowl runs. That's pretty much reinventing.
I just want to do some shit that don't really get done ever.
No, I'm just saying, think about it, right? New England, over the years, have been in a number of Super Bowls. They've been to back-to-back Super Bowl. Can we get a back-to-back Super Bowl, miss a year, but still have a good record, then get another back-to-back? I want that. I want that long, sustainable success.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just it's only happened a couple times with a couple teams. You know what I'm saying? Like even the most dominant teams in NFL history have struggled to get to the Super Bowl consistently.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like New England is one of the ones who's done it back in the day. You had a few other teams who's done it. I mean, people like Dallas got 3 of them in a small period of time. You got the Steelers who had theirs in a small period of time. It's doable, but I'm looking at the consistent winner. Like it's like when the Pittsburgh Steelers had some down years, man, it was like mutiny. Like what the hell? Like they wasn't used to it. So
yeah. No, I mean I totally feel you. I just want more. I ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. I just want a little bit more. Right.
I guess like what's the most you give up? Like would you give up a whole arm though, Andrew? Like,
dude. So I know we all say that, but I've said literally to my family, if I ever lose a limb, that's it. Like that's it. Cut the cord. I just can't.
What?
See?
Hell no. Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely do some crazy shit. Like Luke, like I love ice cream more than you could possibly imagine. I would literally eat ice cream every single day of my life. I would give up ice cream for Super Bowl.
if I wasn't lactose intolerant, I would do it too. But I'll tell you right now, you give me 2 scoops of some ice cream, and I promise you that's gonna be the worst day of your life. Because when I let it rip, it's bad. Just putting it out there. Don't.
So I got a hypothetical for you guys.
Okay.
Would you give up watching the Lions if it meant you would be able to get a Super Bowl?
Yep, I sure would. That's how much knowing that I got a winner matters to me. I sure would.
Right, you walking off in the sunset, and that's
I mean, if it's a consistent win, you couldn't, but you're gonna watch them lose all the time, and you could, so you can with that. You be all right. It's football.
What's the point of having win? I can't watch them. I want to watch them. That's why I want this shit, so I can see it happen and have the memory and shit. We spoke with Dan Miller today on the hook, and to hear his voice, I thought about all the time. Touchdown! Like fucking every time, man, this dude was talking.
Right.
I was like, but I want to have that memory with us winning the games. Like I gotta watch it here. I mean, I guess
you'll have the memory because it'll just be recorded. You just couldn't watch it in real time. He didn't say you could never ever watch it. You just couldn't.
I want the emotions of it because like that's like I like the return of happiness when we had that touchdown or last minute touchdown or game winning. Like you know what I'm saying, like. I don't know, that's what you enjoy about it. I guess afterward, maybe, but if you already know the result, it's kind of like, eh.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. It would be so hard. Like, even if we won the Super Bowl, it would be so hard because I would have, like, let's just say 50 good years left before I die. That would be so hard to not watch my team play for 50 years.
Well, at that point, once they tell me that, then I'm probably not going to, you know, I'm my age at 50 years. See, I'm
you carried it too.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I want it, but let's be for real. The truth is, we use this as emphasis to say how bad we want something, but the reality is this: we've been clamoring for this team. You know, we were spoiled with the Red Wings. Now we don't know how to act. They're not the same no more. You know, when the Tigers got to the World Series, we lost our minds, right? The Pistons beat the Lakers of all teams. They beat the Bulls of all teams. Like this stuff don't happen. You know, those little things like that, those are huge moments that you can go back and say, we weren't even supposed to be there. We weren't supposed to win, and we did. So I get it. The Lions is something totally different. We've been the butt of every joke. You got Kevin Hart even talking about some Tom Brady. If you think you so great and you so fancy, go to Detroit and do it. I mean, it's just I'm sick of being the butt of the joke. I want to see a consistent winner, and I know that it starts with coaching. The front office is in place. The Lions, for the first time, I think in years, are going to have people be stolen off their staff. They're going to be having front office people leave. It's going to be rough, and we got to be able to sustain it. But if the foundation is strong, the coach is still here, we'll be fine.
Ooh, so that actually brings me up to the next topic, and it's Vegas apparently has us as underdogs in every single game this year. Every single game they have us.
I think Eagles were supposed to beat us when they had a worse record than us last year. Too. I don't even understand that shit, man.
I do. They had us favored at first on the 49ers, then it changed. But you got to think, Vegas knows how to make money, right? And so clearly, nobody's going to bet that we're going to be the underdog in all those games. Nobody is going to bet that. There's going to be somebody who's going to be dumb enough to bet it. But the reality is this: there are certain games that they already know are going to yield certain things. And so how are they going to make their money? They get the point spread. I think against the 49ers, we -7?
We're +7.
So we +7. Okay, so +7 against the 49ers. You think they covering that? No, they're not stupid.
Yeah,
they in it for the money.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I'm about to put some money on for sure the Eagles game, and a couple of them with sure. Because like that's wild to me.
Right. I mean, the Eagles, the Bengals. Like, there's a couple of these teams where I'm like, bro, like, you don't make any sense.
At
like,
home.
Yeah.
Those are home games too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and dude, the Bears are starting Dalton. Like, there's so many different things that I'm like, what are you saying? Like, you really think because of what we lost that we're a worse team? At the very, very least, in terms of record, we'll be around what we were last year. Because you humanly can't be worse as a defense. You know what I'm saying? And you built in the trenches and everything, and it's just like, you really are going to give us underdogs against all these fucking teams.
It's funny because I've been talking about this for the last couple of days where fans have been coming in talking about, oh yeah, we're improved on defense. We improved on this, but we're gonna lose. We're only gonna win 3 games. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. You have the worst defense in the league, and you won 5 games, but now you got an improved defense and you lose more games. Help me make it make sense. Like you remember that scene in Jerry Maguire when he was like, "Help me, help you." Like that's how I felt.
The only thing I can attribute to it is the fact of the change in offense, right? With Stafford, you knew no matter who we played that we had a shot. With Goff, it's different. Stafford is a better quarterback, whatever, but we also lost Galladay, we lost Marvin Jones, new coaches, whatever. But it kills me because I'm like, so you lost your wide receivers and your quarterback and you think that's it. You brought in another quarterback. It's not like this guy has never played snap before. It's not like we don't have a top tight end in the league. It's not like we're going to have a top 10 offensive line or a good running back. Like, I don't understand how they think that we're literally going to lose like all these games. Like defense, our defense is not going to let up 40 points every single game. And you can literally scheme to your strengths. What are our strengths? All our wide receivers are quick as fuck. But one wide receiver that we drafted this year is a good route runner. The undrafted free agents we have are a little freaking spice of little everything. Spice and everything nice, whatever. Powder Puff Girls. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a good run game. You have a top offensive line and a good running back and a top tight end. Where in that system are you telling me that we're not going to be able to put up points?
I put it like this. I think when you look at Vegas, if you don't understand the money side of it, then it's going to be a problem. It's about what's a good bet. If you was betting, just say hypothetically you was betting, and you were betting on every game. Are you betting that the Lions are losing every game?
Hell no, dude.
so they know this, and so now what happens is they know that some people are going to do what's called a straight bet, where they just basically pick the whole season.
And then we win, and it's a huge upset.
Right, because like I bet you the payout, like if you spend $500 on the Lions going 0-17 and it happens, that's a huge payout. I bet you. But they're not going to do it. They're going to find ways to milk it and get around it. And I'm not surprised, nor am I shocked. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's always those games too, like where the Ravens lose to like the fucking Bengals, or something like that, and you're like, what in God's name is happening? Like the Jets, how the hell did the Jets win their game? Like there's always those games that you're like, this should never happen. And it does. And it is because of that, so I do get that. And I think a lot of people are underestimating us. And the games that we do lose, like I'm sure we'll have a couple pretty bad games. But overall, our games should be close, in my opinion. So all these +7, -7, whatever bullshit, like that's not going to happen every game.
It's funny because I noticed that the last time we did the roundtable, and Easy was shocked at what he had for the record.
Yeah.
I actually had somebody send me the clip. Like, hey, that's y'all, right? And I'm like, yeah, like what? And they like, bro, this thing has got people dying. I'm like, he going viral in this month. I mean, it's funny. It was he genuinely was confused. Like, wait a minute, that's not what I picked. That can't be.
I think it's because when you break it down from a logistical standpoint and you're like, all right, how do we match up against this team? Given no one's played a snap, whatever. And you think about it and you're like, we could easily win this game. You know, like we're not an awful team. So when you go through the games, you're like, all right, there's a couple really tough matchups, you know, but besides that, there's a lot of them that are going to be close games and who just outperforms who. It's not going to be like, oh, we're versing the fucking Kansas City Chiefs. It's guaranteed we'll probably lose. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of those games.
Plus, you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of tainted, trauma-filled, PTSD Lion fans and people who don't follow the Lions, who's going to assume certain things. There are people who, you know, that you just gave me something I just thought about, you know, which made me, you know, look at it differently. There are a lot of people who talk about Jared Goff, but I'm like, the Lions are going to be better because of Jared Goff, and it's for reasons that I don't think we're thinking about.
It's very possible, right? He likes to dump it off to his tight ends. He likes to, you know, hit the guy on the short route, let them do their thing, you know, dump it off to his running back, you know, and just the style of play that these coaches are going to bring. I mean, you look at the Chargers, you look at the Saints, you look at the Rams. The one thing they have in common is they freaking love their running backs. They love to involve them, get 30 freaking plus touches, no matter if it's backup starters, the pass game, the run game, they involve them. And we have a very good running back on top of Jamal Williams, you know? So our whole style of play is going to be so different. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with it.
I'm not going to be shocked by a number of reasons, but I think a lot of people is going to come to the same conclusion that I came to. And when they get to it, they're going to look up and go, damn, why did I not think of that? Or damn, why did I not see that coming? Or damn, you know what? That makes sense. And this is going to be like, look, this opportunity presents itself. You got to take advantage of it. And to me, like I said, you have this constant change of guard when it comes to this team. So it's just wondering. It's amazing to me where we are, and Vegas just reflects what the opinions of the people are. They know what people going to bet money on.
Right. So One Pride 40, you know, he has a good question. You know, so has this regimen made any, you know, SOL moves in your opinion?
That is a good one. To me, if there is a SOL move that I can look at, for me, I think it's releasing Kerryon Johnson prematurely. I think he should have been allowed to battle in camp, and I think that there were trades that could have been had in the draft because there were people who were taking running backs that you could have been like, hey, give me this pick in the 5th or whatever, or the 4th, and because you basically got nothing for him, but you know, give me this pick and I'll give you this pick plus Kerryon. And see, now at that point, it makes more sense because it's like, okay, you traded him for an asset. You know, even if that was a future pick, you could have got him for an asset. You just letting him go premature, that would probably be the most same old Lions move I've seen thus far. Outside of that, I can't think of too many other ones just yet.
Right. I couldn't think of any, and the only one that came to mind was the Kerryon Johnson one, you know, and even when me and you were live and we were talking about it, when it first happened, I was like, damn, like that's crazy. And then I really started to think about it, and I wasn't mad. You know, like I get it. How many plays was he going to be involved in? You know, the guy had not looked the same after his injury. You just brought in Jamal Williams. You have Swift. And that is the only one that's close to it for me, you know, and it's kind of subjective. You know, some people could say like, damn, that was dumb, you know, and others can be like, you know what, fuck it. Like he hasn't done shit. Let's go. Right. Like, let's get rid of all these injury prone players. So that's the only one that's even close to it. And even that I wouldn't even categorize as that. You know, I mean, it's a backup running back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's not a big deal. It's not like we were like, oh,
I'm gonna tell you why.
let me trade Hawkinson for a fucking pick. You know, like,
I'm gonna tell you why it is. It's because they spent a lot of time. Deuce spent a lot of time saying he got a specific role for him.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell spent a lot of time claiming he got a role for him. Anthony, all these people speaking highly of him to just say, you know what, Deuce this, and we're not gonna get anything in return. I want. Sometimes you want return on value. Like I said, when it comes to the Crosby trade, if we get anything, including the fifth back, you got the same value you draft him for. It's a win-win for you. But if you get anything higher, it's a steal.
I'll tell you what, man, just because you brought that up, I would fucking hate if we traded Crosby.
I would.
I don't like that. You have
That's $2 million.
You have to have a good backup player.
You got Matt Nelson
on your line. Dude, no. I'm sorry. Crosby is leaps and bounds better than Matt Nelson.
Based on what?
His playing ability.
Really?
Dude, Crosby can play tackle and guard, man. Like, I just look, okay. I saw Nelson and I thought he showed flash. I did. Mm-hmm. I personally prefer Crosby, you know?
Yeah. I watched Crosby for how many years he's been here? He's been here since 2018.
He's developed though. He was always meant to be a developmental player. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this last year he showed a lot of flash. I don't know.
Really? Did you not see my video showing you the whole right side?
Well, I personally think he's better at tackle than he is guard.
He was playing tackle. That was the damn problem. When you moved him to tackle, he was, and then they moved Big V to guard. Big V performed and he didn't, and then and vice versa. Now you got to keep in mind we're going to get a little bit over $2 million to let him go. With Carry-On, we got a couple $100,000. Right? Carry-On, you keep him on the roster, it's going to cost you like $1.7 million. You released him, it took $1.3 million away, so you take a couple $100,000. This dude, you release him, it only costs you $71,000 in dead money. $71,000 in the NFL. That's like giving me $10. Right?
I know. I just feel like he adds value in terms of backup role, right? Like he's not a bona fide starter by any means, but as a plug and play guy, if someone happens to go down, I'll take that, especially given who we have. Like we have 4 really good freaking linemen. Obviously, Sewell hasn't taken a snap, but he's pretty fucking good, you know, coming out of college. And even Big V's a good guard, you know. So if someone were to go down, I trust his ability enough to plug into one of those spots.
Have you looked at our roster?
In terms of what?
Like in terms of the depth.
On the O-line, I mean, I haven't taken a deep dive, but like I know we brought in some, you know, undrafted free agents, and you know we have Nelson and a couple people, but like we got rid of Dahl and some stuff. So
see, I think he in trouble because they realize that if we're going to do something, we need to get something for him right now. People still want to tackle, but the reality is this: they brought in other people who they think can develop just as well, and it don't cost them $2.8 million.
Right. See, the only way I would really like it is I don't want him to get dealt before the season. If it were the case, I want him to get dealt during the season when something happens to a team where they just so happen to lose like 2 linemen and they're a playoff contender, because they're going to make that trade and they're going to give up something because they know that when their other stars come back, they're straight, you know? And so I would prefer that than before the season. I feel like there's more value in that, you know, because the season starts, you're kind of, you know, you're in a sticky situation. Before the season, you have all these undrafted players. You can make trades with everyone. You can do whatever you want. In the season, man, like, it's a lot harder to be able to get players, especially ones that fit what you want.
Now, Steve-O says maybe Carry-On asked for a trade because he wanted more of an opportunity to carry the ball. According to Carry-On, he didn't even know. He was shocked that he was traded.
Yeah.
This is his words. And he said that the first time he ever met or spoken to Brad Holmes when he was being told he was fired. So he talked about how scary it was being a free agent, but luckily he didn't have to be in a free agent for too long. So he didn't ask for no trade at all for no greater opportunity, which I don't think that happened at all. I think he thought he was going to be here for a while.
I'll tell you what, though, like if you really think about it, it's kind of surprising because if you look at the last year, we drafted Swift high. We brought in Jamal Williams. We drafted Jamar Jefferson. You drafted offensive lineman, you know, all these different things. Like, where did he think he was really going to play a increased role? You know, like he was going to have a very similar role to what he had last year.
And he was okay with that. he was fine. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't have a problem with it, with that being his role.
I mean, I have no problem with it too. I would have been all right, if he stayed because shit, he's a little bit better than a fullback, right? Really good at pass blocking, but he could go out and catch you a ball, do something. But I don't know. I mean, I personally don't care that he's gone. Like, it's sad to say because I was so hype on Carry-On after his rookie year, and then it's just been disappointing since.
Like I said, I'm not gonna be mad that he's gone because I'm trusting the process. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt the first season until they start doing things that's so drastic that I go, okay, at least they had already had a replacement there that they took in the 7th round. They brought in a few other running backs that so. They showed some interest in another running back that apparently Deuce Stanley is familiar with, who got released by the 49ers, who also got released by the Jags. So I just, like I said, but if that's one move, I'm thinking you couldn't trade him. There was no tradability for him. With all them teams that took running backs.
You know what though? That's what's funny too, is that if they already knew ahead of time that they were going to cut him or whatever, maybe they did try to seek a trade and no one was actually interested in giving up anything. Obviously the Eagles signed him, but like that's different than me being like, hey, I'll give you a pick or I'll give you a player or something.
Right. Now, if that happened, then cool.
Right.
Right? Because at that point, it's like, okay, I didn't see that coming. But I just, like I said, I just think in terms of what we look at, that blocking guy, I'm telling you, that's a special talent to have. It really is. So.
Right. So I want to jump onto this Okudah thing with the PFF, man. Break it down for me. I didn't get to read it, but you were talking about it. I'm very curious.
So Pro Football Focus says Jeff Okudah is the most underrated player on the Detroit Lions. The logic that they give to it is even more ridiculous because they essentially point out the fact that coaching did him no favors. He was playing with an injury. But essentially, he's the most underrated because he had this bad rookie season. But they also acknowledge that all these other people had a bad rookie season last year too at the cornerback position because cornerbacks are hard to translate into. What these receivers can do in the NFL and what they learn in terms of route running is not normal. And so I discussed it earlier and talked about it and said that this is just ridiculous. He's the most underrated player. I just thought it was ridiculous.
I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I can see it if you were just a generalized, people are sleeping on him because, he had a bad rookie year and there is new coaching and he's already learning more, this, that, we had no pass rush. So obviously it makes it harder. He's going up against Adams, Allen Robinson. I'm like, all right, shit, cool. Like I can respect that. You think he's gonna have a bounce back year, but I don't think he's underrated. I think he'll develop, more obviously with an actual off season and all those things I mentioned, but I don't think he's underrated. Most cornerbacks don't come into the league and start playing well until their 3rd, 4th year. There's a couple guys that do, year one, like they're it. And obviously ones that are drafted 3rd freaking overall should be, but I don't think he's underrated by means.
Yeah, I just look at it and I say, if you were being honest about the Lions, how many players could you name that was truly underrated? Like you can literally name so many other people over Okudah for being underrated. I just thought it was a dumb thing.
Dude, I mean, you can literally list like more than half the roster. I mean, if you really think about it, right? You could throw in names like Tyrell Williams and be like, well, look what he did with the Chargers. Look what he did when he was healthy. The Raiders literally grabbed him to be their number 1 wide receiver. We got him for cheap. You could look at, so many different things. You can honestly, you could be like, oh, Swift, because no one's giving Swift a chance. You could say fucking Trey Flowers because he's been hurt. So no one's thought shit about him.
According to Pro Football Focus, he's the most overrated player on his team. And I think I took exception with that. I'm like, really? I've seen other people get more hype than Trey Flowers. I'm like,
Trey Flowers gets no hype. At least not from what I've seen, he gets no hype. And then you look at someone like Rockers, yeah, he got talked about because he played next to Aaron Donald, but like people aren't really talking shit about him. Or Amani or Tracy Walker or like all these freaking different guys, and you're going with Okudah. The man was the 3rd overall pick last year. There's no underrated. He's not a bust. It's been 1 year. and it was under fucking Patricia. You know, like I'm gonna give these. Yeah, Jonah Jackson, Pennicini, exactly. Izzy. I mean, you get it, man. So PFF, they drive me fucking nuts, dude.
Dude,
I don't know how they got as big as they were. I feel like it's that
Chris
stuff with
Collinsworth.
like Skip Bayless, you know, these type of guys where they're like they just spew shit out of their mouth, and you're like, what? Like, what did you actually just say?
See, I think what it is they need to have something to talk about, and they give it to them. But to me, it's an unproven method. Could it be fixed better? Yes. Could it be better lined up? Yes. But I just find it ironic that of all the people, this the one you came up with. This the one. Like I thought it was ridiculous. And the thing that stood out to me the most is I'm like, what y'all based it off of wasn't even nothing that we didn't know. How can you even I'm willing to give Will Harris a shot because of Matt Patricia.
Dog, I'll tell you what, that's kind of reaching for me, man. I mean,
no, I mean, listen, if we're not giving Will Harris a shot, he's only played under Patricia. So how do we know what his potential is? The same thing happened to Jared Goff. Everybody thought Jared Goff after his first year under Jeff Fisher, he was a bust. McVay came in, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Jared Goff is a legitimate quarterback in this league.
Right.
So, I'm a little hesitant. That's all I'm saying. Easy must be back.
Easy said, "Damn, did I miss it?" I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, but you're back.
Right? Like, what the hell? Easy.
The PFF.
No, we still talking about that BS, man.
All right, because before the show started, we were talking about it, and it instantly pissed me off. The fact that DeAndre Swift was in the top 32 running backs. That shit fucking makes zero fucking sense.
Oh, no.
We're talking about the Okudah. Oh, we'll get there, Easy, but we're talking about the Okudah PFF thing, saying he was the most underrated player on our roster.
Which, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say underrated because I feel like, I have high expectations for him. Maybe that's just me, but, I don't think that he's, underrated per se. I think he's going to do well. I think we see him as a starter. I don't know as a star, but DeAndre Swift, that shit made me want to walk in somebody's office and smack him.
So since you mentioned this, we got to jump on this. So let's see. All right, Luke, go ahead, brother.
Put it on full screen.
Oh, I got it. All right, let's see.
Yeah, we want to put it on full screen. There we go. All right, so apparently I'm make sure y'all can see this. I don't want nobody to say that we made this up.
Right.
Running backs ranking the 32 best running backs entering 2021 NFL season.
So
now,
I want to go through these one by one, and just all of us can give our opinion on if they're actually better or not better than Swift. Well, I'll let you go ahead.
Well, listen, I can already tell you, it's okay. I'm gonna leave some things alone. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna be some pissing off going on, but I also think that let's get this. I just gotta get into it. First thing first, man. Okay. The bulk of the 2021 NFL offseason is now in the books, closing the door of the greatest opportunity for NFL teams to overhaul their roster. Free agency and the 2021 NFL draft have seen some of the major players change teams or enter the NFL. So let's look at the league's wide situation when it comes to the running back. Now, number one, they got Derrick Henry.
Better than I gotta give him that one.
No, but it's not just that. It's not just that. It's saying that if you're talking about going into this year, what did they do that really helps him get better for this year?
They lost Taylor Lewan last year, and he ran for 2,000 yards. So he's getting Lewan back, though.
But they force fed the hell out of him, right? And teams have already did things to improve their situation to gear up for him because they know that they're going to force feed the ball to him. So I think you see some changes there, but that's neither nor there. Delvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey coming off an injury, they expected him to be lights out. Nick Chubb, Elvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, ahead of Saquon, but whatever.
The order of this is really bad, but I do agree with who we've seen so far being better than Swift.
I'm not even looking at it in terms of being better than Swift per se, but I can follow that logic. But Chris Carson?
Yeah,
No.
see the Chris Carson and Josh
No.
Jacobs thing, that baffles me because Jacobs is a workhorse over there, and he doesn't get the yards per carry. I mean, don't get me wrong, he gets the fucking touchdowns, and he's a strong back, but he doesn't, like, he's not as explosive as these other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just drop the ball off to him and you're like, oh, fuck, like, the whole team's going to have to try and tackle him. Like, one, maybe two guys. You know what I'm saying? Chris Carson, I like Chris Carson. I mean, he's had injuries, whatever, but, like, he's a mid-tier back.
Wait, Chris Carson came after the list Luke just said? Like, he's the next up?
Chris Carson is 8th overall.
Yeah, he's 8th. He's the 8th overall on this.
Yeah.
Like, he's
above Zeke, like, above these guys. And it's like, what?
What in the actual...
What they say is Chris Carson, a throwback style runner who plays fittingly in the offense with some throwback tendencies. Chris Carson is one of the hardest running ball carriers in football. He has broken 136 tackles and averaged over 3 yards at the contact per carry over the last 3 seasons. Okay.
Look, I'll tell you what, man. I do like Carson. I think Carson is a good back, but to put him 8th overall is fucking mind-boggling.
Carson. I like the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks, and I'm telling you, I want a replacement. I would take Kerryon over Carson.
Okay, that's a little too far.
I know you sound crazy to you, but when I tell you with Carson, it's just Carson.
Bro, he's the 8th ranked running back. How can you say that, bro? I'm not a fan of him.
You want to know? You could deal with some shit with this list, but the thing that really is just an automatic, like, yo, this list is fucked, is when you have Kareem Hunt 10th overall. 10th overall, my man is a 1B for the Browns, bro. 10th overall, above Zeke, above Eckler, like. Who the fuck is writing this?
Listen.
I mean, I can see him in there, but above Zeke is kind of crazy to me.
Well, at 13 you got David Montgomery. So basically, go back. You got at the Chris Carson, you got Josh Jacobs. Then you got Kareem Hunt. Then you got Austin Eckler. Then you got Ezekiel Elliott. Then you got David Montgomery, Joe Mixon, Antonio Gibson. Now this is where I'm trying to figure out what the hell did I miss. What did I miss?
What number are we at with Gibson?
15.
They got Gibson over Swift?
Yes.
They realize the team doesn't have like a quarterback. We don't even fucking know who's going to start for them this year. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, Fitz magic, baby. What you mean?
Well, here's the thing. So Antonio Gibson had 170 carries. That's 170 rushing attempts, right? He had 795 yards and 11 touchdowns. He averaged 4.7 yards a carry, right? He had 36 receptions for 247 yards.
Are you talking about Gibson?
Gibson.
Look, I'll tell you what. I watched Gibson last year quite a bit. I don't know why, but Washington's games are always on. And I like that boy. He's fucking explosive, man. He did not get as much credit as he should have.
Here's the problem.
Is he better than Swift?
Swift, who had 114 carries, had 521. 521. So here's a guy with 170 carries, right? Compared to Swift, 114. He had 56 more carries than Swift. 56 more carries than Swift. Swift had 521 yards, and he had 795, right? And so now, at this point, you're talking about a guy who got 274 more yards with 56 more carries. The telling part to me is this. Swift averaged 4.6 yards a carry, still had 8 touchdowns. He had 11, but still had 8 touchdowns. He had 46 receptions for 357 yards and 2 touchdowns. How is he better? How is he going to get better this year?
Right. So the only thing, because like I said, I watched a lot of the games, so I can actually compare them. Gibson, okay, if you watch Washington, who was their star last year? Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is literally the worst fucking starting quarterback I've ever seen in my entire life. Nobody, and I mean nobody, cared what he did. They would literally they're like, shit, you want to have Terry McLaurin open? Go ahead, try and throw the ball. I guarantee he's not going to get there. And it wouldn't. So a lot of teams really plan for the run game, man. And Gibson still would like show out and fucking run over people and like break huge runs and stuff. He was very flashy, you know, and I don't think he gets as much credit as he should because Haskins was a quarterback, which took no pressure off of anybody. And now they got Fitzmagic and Curtis Samuel. And I know Fitzmagic is older or whatever, but like he's leaps and bounds better than Dwayne Haskins. And I believe they just got an offensive lineman in the offseason. So I think I wouldn't mind if someone was like, yo, I have Antonio Gibson above Swift. I'd be like, all right, subjective. I think they're around the same. But with our O-line, obviously I would give Swift a nod.
If you look at what they're doing, I want you to pay attention to something. There's two things. They're trying to justify stupid with stupid. So watch this. He earned an 82.3 PFF rushing grade in the process, right? And then you go to Antonio Gibson, his PFF rushing grade is 85.3. So why is Antonio Gibson not ahead of David Montgomery?
Right, exactly. I think I don't know. Maybe it's the projected.
Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's number 16. Right? And so bruh, listen, I wish I can make
Help
this
me out.
stuff up.
I can't picture where he's at right now.
He's at 16.
Huh?
Oh,
he's with the Colts, so
yeah, he's talking about.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. He's all right. I mean, they got a good team. They got a good overall team.
Mr. Fumbles. That's what I like to call him, Mr. Fumbles.
All right, who else we got?
But okay, so you got Jonathan Taylor. I don't think Jonathan Taylor should be higher than Swift. I just don't. I'm not even trying to shit on Jonathan Taylor, but again, if it depends on how you want to judge it or how you want to go about, looking at this. Jonathan Taylor, 232 rushing attempts, 1,169 yards and 11 touchdowns, a 5-yard average, 36 receptions, 299. Now people are like, well, Luke, why you wouldn't put him on there? Because he started 10 games. My guy only started 5. Or was it 6? No, 6 games. My guy started 6. He started 4 more games and had way more touches than my guy. We didn't realize we had a running back. What week was that?
Look, I mean, that's according to our coaches, we never had one.
I'm just saying. It's just ridiculous. After that, you got Melvin Gordon at 17.
Trash.
James Robinson from Jacksonville.
And they just drafted a running back fucking in the first round.
Right. But James Robinson is 18. Miles Sanders is 19.
They got a fucking rookie, bro.
Are you kidding me? Miles Sanders
is 19. Najee Harris is 20.
Bro, they got rookie running backs. Yeah, but bro, they got no O-line, and he's a rookie.
He's
and
a
you
rookie,
ranked
bro.
Higher.
Nah, Najee gonna be nice, but
I think he is too. But still, how can you? But listen, that's called projection. What do I got to project when I know what I got from the other person?
Yeah, that's a great point. And what Andrew also said, like that's like their thing. They didn't have a fucking offensive line.
Tony Pollard is 21.
Oh my God,
bro. Listen, these next couple fucking drive me mad because Tony Pollard is a backup for Dallas who has Zeke. Not like they got someone else, and you're like, all right,
not even a starter, right? And I think Tony Pollard is a very good back. Don't get me wrong, but then you got 22. You got David Singletary from Buffalo.
This one pisses me the fuck
Jacksonville now has a rookie in Travis Etienne. So Jacksonville got 2 running backs on this list. Jacksonville
over Swift.
2 of them over Swift. Denver has 2 running backs. So they got their rookie on there. Javonte Williams is 24.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Ronald Jones for the Buccaneers is 25. J.K. Dobbins for the Ravens is 26. Naheem Hines is 27. So there's 2 Colts running backs so far. 2 Colts, 2 Broncos, 2 Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that guy that I kept losing debates on and mock drafts on that I said was going to be good, but whatever. James White is 29. Chase Edmonds for Arizona Cardinals is 30.
Yo, that's just fucking crazy.
Kenyon Drake from Las Vegas is 31, and Mark Ingram for the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans is 32.
Bro, this shit hurts my fucking eyes to read because I'm just like, so you have like 5 rookies on here, and you have backups. Bro, like,
Yeah,
what
the backups can fucking give me the backup for Jacksonville who's playing receiver. That shit makes no goddamn sense. What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, literally, like, what are you saying right now?
This year, when Swift goes off, this better be the end of him. I had like somewhat respect, like I was using for reference to look at, just as it was like a normal stat. But like this shit, I'm like I'm heated right now. I'm fucking like, you got backup fucking rookie running backs. Like, what the fuck is going on? That shit makes zero fucking sense. Zero fucking sense.
It just, to me, my problem with them is even if you didn't keep this order, what if you just said these were all the people who's on the list and they should be on the list, right? You put at least 3-4 damn rookies on here who haven't taken a snap over a guy who has taken a snap. Over a guy who has been
backups drive me crazy, man.
Look, I'll tell you what.
Over a guy who's got an offensive line.
If it was something like, yo, we have Trevor Lawrence ranked higher than Dwayne Haskins, I'll be like, yeah, go for it. I 100% can approve that, whatever. But like, you're putting rookie running backs ahead of running backs that performed well last year. You know what I'm saying? Like what are you saying?
Yeah, and coupled with the fact our offensive coordinator is a former running back who had a pretty decent running game down there with the Chargers, who he made a name out of Justin Kelly and Austin Eckler. 2, you have a tight end who obviously been a lot of part of, like, I guess, run formations, like pack tight shit, like I formation type shit. Like, and we have a fucking Penei Sewell, a fucking refrigerator at right tackle. Like, bro, what the fuck is going on, bro? That's crazy to me.
See, this is what drives me nuts too, is because the teams that they left out, I feel like don't get a lot of national media attention. And like, yeah, there's some, like, obviously Jacksonville Jets, whatever, but like, bro, the Lions are consistently getting shit on when it comes to national media. And it pisses me off because you're telling me that, like, literally half of these running backs are not ranked higher than Swift. I'm sorry. I'm not even biased. If you watch the game, the guy was literally putting people on skates, but yet you have fucking Chase Edmonds on there. You have Tony Pollard on there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these guys are good, but like, to rank them truly higher than these guys is fucking ridiculous.
I mean,
even the order that they rank them too is just so bad.
Like I said, Tony Pollard shouldn't even be on the list, in my opinion.
No, why is Javonte Williams on the list? And I think he dope as shit. Don't even get me wrong, but he a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he on this list? Why is Travis Etienne on this list?
Yeah, that's another one too. That's probably Victor.
That's 2 rookies.
He's both a rookie and a backup. And he's a fucking receiver.
Najee Harris. Najee Harris is on this list. That's the 3rd one, a 3rd rookie, right? James Robinson, like, we really out here for real. Like James Robinson did good, but we really going for real. Like, I'm trying to help it make it sense.
Look, I'll tell you what, man. They just drafted Etienne. This is aside from the list. If for some reason they were to get rid of Robinson because the Jaguars are consistently getting rid of their running backs, I will pick him up. I will definitely pick him up. Pair him with Swift. Shit, you got a 2-headed monster.
I just can't believe that people pay this kind of money. Unlock the premium stats. $200. This shit costs more than Game Pass. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, people should definitely get some refunds out of that. I'm fucking mind blown, bro. I don't even know how to react to that shit.
People love
rookie fucking running backs that don't even play the position. Like, they're literally moving Travis to fucking like receiver. That shit fucking, I still can't wrap my head around it.
I hate to say it. It's funny because when you look at this overall, I'm happy. And I know it sounds crazy. Like, look on this bullshit. He happy. What does he mean he happy? I don't want them. Don't give him no respect. Don't put him on your list. Keep that same energy. Because when he go off, we gonna know why. If you look at all these people on this list, who he got to improve offensive line, improve special teams, offensive coordinator. who is known for finding ways to get the ball to the running back. He got very few touches last year. And the few like I puke at the whole idea of it. But I don't hype him up.
Literally everything that we did between like the draft and offseason, as far as our offensive side of the ball, is literally to help Swift. Literally to help Swift. You boost the offensive line. You bring in coordinators that know how to use the running backs. And you have guys that are playing wide receiver that are all speedsters. So the defense can't afford to just stack the box all the time. And you boosted the offensive line. So it's literally just a plus. And you're still not going to fucking rank this guy in the top 32? Like, that's just pathetic.
maybe I'm missing something. It says, we know backs are largely a product of their environment. Well, if you know that, okay. Come back, Luke. Don't do it.
Right, but you know what? We're going to put multiple running backs that are on the same team because obviously, you're getting 400 yards, on the season. You're a top 32 back.
It says running back that's playing receiver. That's a fucking rookie. Like, what the fuck, man?
Listen, it says, but that doesn't mean that they are just interchangeable. It says there are very real gradations to the running back position throughout the NFL. Here are the best 32 backs as we look ahead to the 2021 NFL season. The reason that they give, let me say this to you. Derrick Henry, we debate how much running backs can truly outperform their environment, but nobody has done that. So now the question is so I think what they're trying to say is can they outperform their environment? If you are a Lions fan, you know that Swift outperformed Matt Patricia. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. If we're doing it that way, I'm really trying to figure out why he's not on the list. It said we debate how much a running back can truly outperform their environment, but nobody has done that more than Henry over the past 2 seasons. Henry has 2,758 yards after contact since the start of the 2019 season, almost 1,000 more than any other back in that span. Devin Cook, if he's healthy, Cook is the closest thing to Henry in terms of a running back outperforming expectations in the NFL. The Vikings back has earned a PFF rushing grade of 90.9 over the last 2 seasons, second only to Henry, but the Vikings offensive line was ranked 15th in the league. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
So Luke, I got to ask you, who are your top 5 backs in order?
If I'm looking at this season alone, going into 2021, Nick Chubb will probably be my one because I think they're going to run the ball more efficiently. Number 2, see, I feel like Derrick Henry. I feel like once they exposed how to slow him down last year, it got real for the quarterback.
See, I don't know if that ever happened because Derrick Henry was fucking killing it all year, dude.
Yeah, but there were games where he wasn't like, well, I had to go and look at it one more time because I remember games where he didn't do shit. And so it ended up being
there was, I believe, 2 games where he had really bad games, but also like, dude, nothing was going well offensively.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think people look at that and figure out like what's going on. I just feel like, to me, Devin Cook, I have to put him up there. I think they improved the offensive line. I think the fact that they are going to be playing around with Kellen Mond a little bit and some of that read option offense. I could see him being one of them. Christian McCaffrey to me is a wild card because I don't know if I trust the Panthers coaching staff. But Elvin Kamara would be up there for me because there's no way they finna lean on fucking Jameis Winston. So we know that they getting the carry. So that's 3. He can't stay healthy. I don't think they give him the opportunity he need. Ezekiel Elliott, I think, could have a breakout year, but again, their offensive line is a little strange on certain sides. Man, this is about to be some bullshit. I think I think J.K. Dobbins is going to get more playing time too, so that helps him out. That helps Lamar out. So I can put him at 4. Clyde Edwards, hilarious. They blew up the whole damn line. I put him at 5. But I still would put.
So you got some second-year players up there, huh?
Because I look at what they did. It's about going into this year. Kansas City said we need to build a line that can pass, block, and run. So it helps out Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You go to Nick Chubb and them, that's what they do. I
can respect the Nick Chubb one 100%. Nick Chubb is underrated. I mean, the guy, he's missed time, but when he's in, it's like a guaranteed 100-yard game. And that's with him giving care, like having fucking Kareem Hunt take carries from him. And he's still getting 1,000 yards every single year.
Like I said, Elvin Kamara, if you would be a fool to lean on Jameis Winston, so he's going to get a big role. And then you go down to Devin Cook. They added a few pieces to their offensive line to try to help sustain some pass protection and running as well. So I just kind of look at what's going into this season, but I still think there are too many people on this list for me not to see DeAndre Swift's name on it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I agree with that.
It just blows my mind.
I mean, I can get if you were like, yo, we got Dobbins. Like a couple of those backs that were drafted last year are pretty fucking good. Like you said, like Helaire is really good if he gets opportunity. J.K. Dobbins, I'm letting y'all know now. If you play fancy, you better fucking draft this guy. This guy is going to blow up this year, especially in a run-heavy offense. And then Taylor was good. Obviously, a lot of that factors in because of how good their offensive line is. But like, dude, there was a lot of good backs, but to just be like, oh, Tony Pollard and Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne, like you cannot rank these guys higher than Swift. Even Cam Akers didn't make an appearance, and that's just wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like what?
But if I was being honest with Cam Akers, what did they do to improve their line for him to be mentioned?
So the thing is he actually showed a lot of flash last year. He just didn't get the touches. It was very sporadic. And, like, if they gave him 20 touches a game, I promise you he will ball out.
I just like I said, for me, 3 rookies. I think 2 of them motherfuckers is backups. Why? Why? You're not going to convince me that Denver all of a sudden became this we running the ball team. Not even finna just be going between 2 running backs. Really? No. Come on, man. Like if you just go through and you look at it right now, let's just real quick jot down how many. Tennessee, I think Tennessee only got 1 running back. All right, so that's 1 for them. Minnesota got 1. Okay. Yep. Carolina got 1.
Yep.
Cleveland got 2. Okay. Saints got 1. Yep. Packers got 1. Giants got 1. Seattle got 1. Vegas got 1.
Vegas has 2.
Oh, you're right.
Because they have Kenyon Drake.
Did they have him on here for real?
Yeah, they had Kenyon Drake way later.
Hold on, bro. Wait, hold on.
I believe he's like 32 or something like that. Yeah, right there, 31.
So Vegas got 2. Oh, okay. I'm cool.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm cool. I'm cool. Vegas got 2. Okay. All right.
Even Chase Edmonds, like, bro, this guy has been a backup to backup player.
Oh my God. Okay. Colts got 2. I think the Colts is legit. I think the 2 for the Browns is legit. 2 for
the Ravens.
The Raiders.
It's crazy because, like, the Browns, I can respect Kareem Hunt being on the list. Kareem Hunt is a very good back. He should be starting running back on a team, but he had all that off the field shit. And I can respect that. But, dude, there's maybe 2 teams in the entire league that have 2 top 32 running backs.
But Denver with 2. And Jacksonville, the team that just picked first overall in the draft. 2.
Right, exactly.
2.
It's It's just dumb. It makes you wonder if these guys even actually truly look at everything, or if they just come up with whatever pops up in their head.
I would love to see what it looks like for our running back to get 200 carries.
Right, because dude, like you're telling me, so okay, you look at David Montgomery. The majority of his games last year, I shit you not, he was averaging like under 2 yards a carry. Under 2 yards a fucking carry. This is not exaggeration. And they have him as, 13? Like, what are you saying right now? How is that 13? But Swift, behind a very good O-line, is not even top 32.
And Matt Nagy hasn't shown that he's willing to run the ball. So and Joe Mixon has been hurt. So, you know what? I'm going to just shut the hell up.
Right, behind a non-existent O-line. That's what cracks me up, because you're like, I should have this job. I should be making money writing these articles because I can do a much better job.
You know, like you see Easy out here going, shaking my mother head. You know, he's confused. He's like, cancel PFF. Elvin Kamara has never rushed for more than 1,000 yards. I just don't get it. Like, I'm not trying to be the smart guy in the room here. I just want them to make sense out of what they're saying. If you're going to tell me that Swift don't belong on this list, if you go through and you look at each one of these people who's on this list, there are very few. I mean, if you're telling me about it's an environment and you talking about they can outperform their environment, I get it, but you gotta take into account the environment. What about the ones who perform within the environment? Right? Like,
no, I totally feel it, man. I mean, it's just so funny because it just makes no sense. It's funny. Literally, it's something to talk about, and that's why they get the views, right? Because people are reading this and they're like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, who can read this and be like, wow, this was a great, accurate list? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what fan you are from what team. If you know anything about football, you know this is a jank list.
Like I said, I can't. Luke, pull up Pollard stats. Okay, well, let's look at Tony Pollard. Let's look at Tony Pollard.
I'll tell you what, Tony Pollard as a backup. Then here's the thing: I can't put any backup on this fucking thing. You should have just starters. That's just my opinion. But if you're
right,
but like Pollard as a backup is a really good backup.
He is. I like Tony Pollard.
Very, very good, underrated backup. But for you to put him on the top 32 is asinine.
Tony Pollard, as a backup, 101 carries. So that means that Swift only had 13 more carries than him. He got 435 yards and 4 touchdowns. Swift had 521 yards with 14 more carries. He averaged 4.3 yards a carry. Swift averaged 4.6. So I don't know. Listen, this ain't my damn list.
Yeah. Like, you can't even it's hard because you can't even justify it. You know what I'm saying? Like, is Elliott even a top 20 running back anymore? I'll tell you what, Steve-O, when they lost Dak this year, dude, the whole offense just stopped moving. Like, Zeke,
no, that's not
Zeke
true. That's not true.
Look, I'll tell you what, man. Zeke went from killing it those first 6 games to just completely falling off the map.
Zeke did what Zeke always did. He did the same thing at Ohio State. That's why his daddy had to go to school with him, because he was an F up. Let's call a spade a spade. When he got to Dallas the first time, Dallas offensive line was still intact and he was living his best life. He was crunk. He got that contract and he started eating the money away. He gained weight. He wasn't the same person. Zeke had, you know how many fumbles Zeke had last year? Zeke ass was messing up. Like I ain't trying to be funny. Zeke had 244 rushing attempts. 244 rushing attempts. Ezekiel Elliott, 979 yards, 6 touchdowns. Ask me how many fumbles he had.
Fucking 8.
6 fucking fumbles.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, Zeke was just on some shit last year.
He didn't care. He thought he arrived. He essentially thought that he made it, and that he didn't have to care no more. And that's where the bullshit came from.
You know what, though? If you watch the first couple of games, though, he played very good when Dak was in. So I feel like he was, like you said, he just kind of was like, fuck it. Because once he realized Dak was done, he's like, there's no point for me to fucking just, go all out if my quarterback is out for a season.
But that team always went as far as Ezekiel Elliott went. And that's the reality of it. Dak is a game manager. You can't ask a game manager to carry the team. Like all these quarterbacks are. Aaron Rodgers is a game manager. People hate when I say this. Tom Brady's a game manager. Patrick Mahomes, they're not asking them to win the games like that. They are in situations that allow for them to look like they're asking them to win the game, but they're game managers. Most of these guys are game managers, and they put the pressure on them to do more. And it just doesn't work. For the longest, Dak Prescott, if he threw the ball more than 29 times, that team lost. It just is what it is. And so I just look at it and I say, no, that team go as far as Ezekiel Elliott, and he was on some bullshit.
Right. And on top of that, so it's funny because Looney Tunes, like, that's why you don't pay running backs. I will tell you what, there is fucking endless stats that after, like, the first 6 years of a running back's career, they take a huge decline in production. Like, literally, it's like a drop off. And so to
unless
pay
you're
a running
Frank
back,
Gore.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Frank Gore, like AP or someone, like the majority after their rookie contract are almost trash. They might have, 2 years left in them, but they start having injuries and they start not playing as well and this and that, or like whatever it is. And so, you look at it and you're like, well, Zeke is definitely getting there. I mean, his backup was doing pretty much the same shit he was doing. So it'll be interesting to see if Zeke can return to form, and if he does, for how long.
I just know that when you look at this list, right, no matter how we slice it, when we look at this list, we walk away still feeling like, how is our guy not on the list? How are rookies getting more praise than our people? Why are rookies getting more praise than our people?
This guy must be a Packers fan or some shit.
I don't know what he is, but he don't know football. I know that.
Yo, see who wrote the article. I'm very curious.
Okay, let's see. If I were going to say one of three people, an idiot, a fool, or a dumbass. Either way it goes, it's one of those three. Let's see. Let's see.
Oh, don't even say
Sam Monson. Sam Monson.
I love how you clicked on his name. Let's see. It's an only case that Drew Lock can be the answer. Bro,
hold on, let's see. Hold on. Let's see where he at. Where's Sam?
Don't follow.
Yeah, I don't want to follow him. This is Sam right here looking like Kenny G after the music is stopped.
Right.
No. Don't know what the hell he's talking about. Nope. Unacceptable.
Can Drew Lock turn around in Denver? Like, bro, just you really reaching on this shit.
I like I said, people respect it. That's their business. I don't get it. That's the guy. I don't even want to share. You know what? Let me get this bullshit off my screen. I don't. I told y'all I'm not a fan of Pro Football Focus. I'm just not, and I'm sorry. Pro Football Focus to me is a joke.
Sometimes I wish I could like obviously we're not that big to where we can just pull anyone, but like, bro, to be able to talk to these guys and truly debate what they wrote in an article or something.
Correction. Steve is the guy that looks like Kenny G. I figure if the guy look like Kenny G, I don't fuck with either one of them. I'm just gonna be honest. It's like that song. I don't with you. I'm sorry. I get disgusted too easily,
especially when it comes to football.
Yeah, because it's like if I should be able to follow your logic behind why you're picking what you're picking. If you don't even have logic to it, then why are you trying to sell me on a bill of goods that nobody gives a shit about?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even believe what you see.
I feel you, man. I do want to bounce it to one more topic, before we can take any last questions. But before I do that, make sure you hit that like button. Definitely subscribe because I'm one subscription away before hitting 500. And show us here in the chat, man. Throw some emojis, talk more, do what you got to do. But with that being said, the last topic I want to talk about is the fact that we didn't have any quarterbacks at our camp. And I want you to tell me what you think about that and what does that mean?
When they had no who at our camp, you said?
No quarterbacks.
I didn't give a shit.
And why is that?
Because it's COVID. We still in the COVID. It's still a pandemic going on. So you're not going to have everything. And who are we supposed to have there? It's a rookie camp. We don't have a rookie quarterback. So you make do. That's why you got jug machines. Shoot the damn ball. Put it in there. Boop. It's the same thing. It's not hard. Like you come up with. I think one of the coaches was throwing the ball, like Randall L.
Randall. True. But no, they had Brunel throwing it.
Brunel. I knew it was one of them. I knew it was one of the coaches. I couldn't remember which one it was, but one of the coaches was doing it. And so to me, if it's not hard for you to you're just trying to get them the basis of what they're going to be doing in the playbook. That's it. So no, I don't care if there's no quarterback there or not. That's not news to me. The fact that there's no quarterback doesn't scare me or doesn't bring me to a point to be like, oh God, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. No, it didn't matter.
Look, I'll tell you what. To me, it shows that these guys are fucking smart, right? Because one, when you bring in quarterbacks to this camp, 99.99% of the time, they don't fucking make the camp unless you literally drafted them, right? So why waste a spot? To me, this shows that they're smart. Why waste a spot, waste your time bringing in someone just to freaking throw you some practice balls when you could handle it and have a better eye on your players that you actually have? Like this isn't, well, let's just bring a couple quarterbacks. We got to get a punter. We got to get a kicker. Yo, if you're set, that's it. That's it. And your starting quarterback goes down, you're fucked. That's it. So like to me, it was a smart move. It's not that same old shit where you're like, well, I have to cover my bases, this, that. If you're sure on something, you're sure on it, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? They made sure that Goff is our quarterback. So why are you going to bring in quarterbacks to camp just to be an arm? Like you said, you got all the machines. You have multiple coaches that can throw the ball. Brunel was a quarterback. You have multiple, past quarterbacks or, coaches in general that can throw the ball. Why do you need a player? You don't.
Well, it's a good point. It's a legitimate point that you can look at, but I don't know. Like I said, you got options who can do it. You had Randall Well, you had Brunel. Most of those guys there can throw a damn ball. We're not asking them to be the second coming of whoever you want to think of as the greatest quarterback. You're just asking them to get the ball to them. And like I said, at this point, this is all building. Basically, this is all building for the teams to build for identity and stuff like that. It's like getting in those little here's what we're running, here's what we're looking for. That's all it is, especially at certain positions as many receivers they brought in. Who's running routes? Who's creating separation? Who's catching these balls when we shoot them up there? With the cornerbacks, who's sticky? Who's getting handsy at the line of scrimmage? So yeah, I'm not shocked at all whatsoever with it, in my opinion. I mean, to me, I'm surprised it made news. Like, okay, so what?
Yeah. I mean, so, while I have the floor real quick, start posting questions. If you guys have questions, we'll answer them. I just like it, man. I think they're smart. Why waste a spot? You have fucking all these guys that can already throw. You have the machines. And also, it sounds like they didn't just run drills to run drills. They made them very practical, right? You don't have to freaking run sevens. You don't have to do all that, man. Get them ready. Start with the fundamentals and work your way up. Get them ready for the season, and it sounds like they did a lot of functional drills.
Well, it's one of them things where, like I said, it's some people who just gonna look at it and be like, oh yeah, man, we could have did this, man, we could have did that. And it's like bro, like seriously, like I'm not even trying to be funny, but like keep it 100. Keep it 100 when I say this. And I want people not to judge me on it, but did you really give a shit? Most of these guys not making the team no way.
Right.
So like that's not new. I know that the struggle is real. I do. I know that the struggle is real. But come on, people. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's the mindset, right? It's your style of coaching. Some people are like, well, I have to have some quarterbacks in camp because I need some arms, this, that, whatever. I don't know. But, with that being said, in camp, dude, McNeil and Levi on Zuare, they're getting familiar with each other, man. Levi literally was like, McNeil was hitting the sled, and this dude was about to rip the bag off the sled.
No, I mean, I see questions in here like, did Brad Holmes want to trade up for Sewell scare me? No. That's why you have draft capital to go and get the people you want. So no, it didn't bother me. Him trading up for Levi, that worried me.
If he would have traded up for Levi, I would have been fucking livid because you shouldn't be trading up for. It was one thing if you're like, oh, I'm trading up for the top defensive end, fucking, Nick Bosa type shit, right? Where they're going, top 2 overall, and it's a premier position. But to trade up for like a defensive tackle in the second, when we have to fix a lot of things and actually plan for the future, just not the time for that.
Yeah, I literally walked away. I just literally walked away with the attitude that if that trade would have happened, I'd have been mad. But you saw what happened. Everybody else in that room, Spielman, John Dorsett, they shut that down, and he listened. Now, does that concern me when they leave? Yes, and I'm going to be looking real close at that. But for the most part, I like the fact that he was aggressive and want what he want and was willing to do what it takes to get it. I like that part of it. But when you do stuff like that, they got to hit. And they got to hit hard. And if they're not going to be hits that's going to be successful for this team, it's a waste of energy, in my opinion.
Right. So is Dorsey only here for a year?
I don't know how long he's going to be here for, but however long he's here for, teach these people what they need to know and get the hell on. That's all it is. Their job is to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the fact, though, that it's not I'm Brad Holmes and I'm going to pick whoever the hell I want. It does sound like they're taking into account everyone's opinion. And these guys have been in the league for so long. A lot of these guys have been very successful. And to be collaborative and not just be like, well, I'm going to do this, that's it, is refreshing to hear. Because when you remember what happened last year, it was, well, do we take Derek Brown or do we take Jeff Okudah? And it was an argument. Like, you shouldn't have to be arguing in the draft room. It should be, let's talk about this, what makes the most, logic, and let's act on it. And that's what it seemed like they did.
Well, whatever they did last year was comical. And I found it to be very freaking entertaining. I just thought it was hilarious. I thought that it was not only hilarious, it was funny as hell. Because you see it so often. You saw on his face that he was not happy about no damn Jeff Okudah. That was not a Matt Patricia pick. That was 100% Bob Quinn. And the fact that they are not even on the same page tells me everything I need to know.
Right.
So that's why they're not here no more. So that's the best part about it. What other question they got for? Let's see.
I don't think it would have been a concern if we drafted a wide receiver, CJ, only because we do need one, but it would have been more concerning because it was 7th overall.
No. It is more concerning to take in this draft. You trading up for a receiver in this draft?
I don't think it was a trade up for the receiver. It was just.
It was never. They never wanted to trade up for a receiver. I don't believe that. But what I'm saying is, had he traded up to take a receiver, I'd have been pissed.
Oh, yeah, if that was the case, I would have fucking flipped.
Because you're talking about essentially, you're talking about essentially doing something that you didn't have to do. You didn't have to trade up for a receiver. I mean, you could have took a receiver. Not look at the receivers who were taken after we picked. You had options. You really had to go nowhere. You could have took a Devontae Smith if receiver was that serious for you. You could have took a Brown or whatever you came up with. You had options. Elijah Moore, whatever. You had options. But don't no, that would have been some, that'll tick me off.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny too because like St. Brown, I feel like is a great receiver for us, and then you add the fact that we got Adams as an undrafted free agents and Surratt, like those guys have potential. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of potential. And we have Williams and Perriman as a fucking placemat for a second. And if they do pan out, that's perfect. You got some speedsters that could potentially be pretty good. But, like, to trade up for a wide receiver, and like, oh my God, I would literally have lost it. I would have literally turned off the TV and I would have exited the stream immediately because I would have been flipping out and then went into instant depression.
Yeah, because at that point you start to realize how stupid it is for them to make that kind of move, and so that's where you start to look at it and say, God, why are we doing this,
dude? Okay, the Barnes trade up, fine. You're in the 4th round, right? But what the fuck? Like, dude, you're in a rebuild, right? Retool, rebuild, whatever you want to say. You don't trade up in the 1st or 2nd round because you're going to be giving up so much capital. When you have other holes to fill, you have to plan for your future. You have to get rid of a lot of very expensive contracts. You have to replace a lot of guys. Like, you just don't do that in the situation we're in. You know, if you're in the Steelers situation and you're like, yo, I can plug in a quarterback and potentially make a Super Bowl run, whatever. You know, one of those type of teams, I get it. You trade draft capital and move up to grab stars that you think can put you over the top. But we're not in that position.
No, we're not even close. We're not even close. And so when you're not close, then you just don't do those kind of things. You don't make those kind of moves. And if we had made those kind of moves, y'all wouldn't have wanted me to be around. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. I'm gonna be honest with you. But I trust this front office. You know, I trust them. And so, like I said, it is what it is. Right. Dorsey's a miracle worker. Kansas City and Cleveland weren't good until he showed up a few years later. They're great. Yeah, he filled up with talent, showed them how to get their talent going, and set a foundation for them. You know, he's the reason why I had a lot of Lions fans telling me I'm crazy for saying I want people like Bill Parcells to come here as a coach, because Bill Parcells he literally brought back so many teams. The Giants, Dallas was irrelevant before Bill Parcells came. Irrelevant.
They've been irrelevant since too,
and been irrelevant since. You know, they went on and made Jason Garrett, like he tried to do the same thing he did to Jimmy Johnson, where he had Jimmy Johnson build up this team and was like, I'm gonna put Barry Switzer and we still gonna win. It didn't work this time. You brought in Jason Garrett.
8-8.
So I'm just saying. Let me see. Any other questions? Let me see. I don't want to miss nobody questions and stuff. But yeah, because I gotta get up early. It's all get out.
I feel you. We almost didn't have a roundtable. You know what, folks? Like, we've been crazy busy. It's been a very, very time consuming off season. That is for sure. With all of us in our jobs and stuff, it's been really hard to coordinate.
I know people got married, getting married, people getting houses. Not, it's a lot going on. This adjusted schedules, it sucks.
We're going to keep making content for y'all. You know what I'm saying? We love talking to you guys. We love having you in the chat. It's a nice thing, at the end of the day, just talk some Lions football and just football in general.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, it's one of the things where, like I said, if it wasn't for me having to have a livelihood to support a family, I can do it. So we need consistent staff members to tell him to be patient. I don't think we need consistent staff members to tell him to be patient. I think that he had a plan in his head and he was ready to go get it. But you got to look. I mean, when's the last time the Rams had a first round pick?
Dude, literally.
So look, you know what I'm saying? Like, look what he learned from. When you want what you want, you go and get it. It's just that simple. So, it's hard to overlook that and then act as if though, like, oh, this is not what's going on. No, this is exactly what's going on. So yes, I wouldn't say you got to have somebody consistently tell him that, but it's a collective thought. If it was just him, if you just left him to his own vices for him to make the decision, then you're in trouble.
Right. No, I totally feel you, man. I'm excited because we just brought in so many people that if they get together and actually collaborate well, this could be a beautiful thing, man. This could be something that we've never seen in our history as a franchise. I mean, you brought in a lot of competent front office people, and that trickles down, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where, I'm not gonna trip on him. I'm gonna watch what he do piece by piece and see how he play it. If he do something stupid, trust me, you're gonna hear about it. I'm not oblivious to dumb stuff. I'm calling it out. How long till we start trading first round picks for players? Next year. I'm telling you right now. Next year, do not be surprised if you look up next year, unless it's just some crazy deal. Like, say for example, that somebody decided to come out and they like, oh well, Deshaun Watson's up, and then they might decide, well, okay, we got 2 first. I would be upset with that move, but hey, you know,
the only time I feel like we'll get rid of a first in the upcoming future is if it was to get the quarterback. You know, because I just don't see them giving up first unless they're getting a quarterback. You know, or if there's like a freaking Joey Bosa, you know, part 2, and you're like, yo, like I want this fucking guy. He's gonna be just a complete all-star. He's gonna be super disruptive, you know, and we want him. We want him to be on our defensive line for the next freaking 10 years. That's the only 2 scenarios, and I just don't see us doing it any other way.
Plus, like I said, I see we got a few more questions. Let me see. Let's knock those out. Oh damn it! Did it move? Did I lost my spot? This is what happened when you blink. Okay, but I had to, people. Where was it at? It was something. Right there. The massage part. No, it says, so you're saying Spielman will keep Holmes in check? No, I think Spielman is there to be like a reminder that he's in waiting. He's going to be the next general manager. He's literally there learning the job to be the next general manager. If he doesn't become it, man, the fact, just dude, I mean, he's so passionate about Detroit. He's so passionate about the Lions. You know, he's always just been positive, man. I mean, just having him in the front office, even no matter what role he plays, it's going to be positive for the team. 100%. 100%. So, you know, at that point, you can't do it. Trying to see any other question.
No, I think that's it, man.
All right, let's do it because I got to get up super dumb early.
For sure. So, you know, with that being said, folks, we're going to wrap it up. Obviously, we definitely appreciate you guys joining the stream. You know, if you like the content, we're going to be live on Luke's channel. We're going to be live on my channel, Speak Easy's channel, you know, Jim, all these different DSA members. Definitely subscribe. Definitely like that button. And definitely tune in. We're always, you know, streaming in the afternoon. You know, Lions on the Prowl streams, you know, during lunchtime. They got that lunchtime Lions talk. And just tune in. You know, if you're subscribed to all of us, you'll see which one of our channels that we're live on any given day. And with that being said, definitely appreciate y'all. And Luke, you can give your final thoughts, man.
You know me, we can't end the show unless it's on the good note. Today's positive quote comes inspired by Mental Health Awareness Month. It's simple, okay? If you allow people to make more withdrawals than deposits in your life, you will be out of balance and in the negative. Know when to close your account. See, this is where it gets confusing at. It's that knowing that we miss. See, the problem is, I realize is that too many times we are constantly allowing people to take from us, and we give the best parts of us. We constantly are up there finding ways for people to withdraw from us. See, they're not making no deposits, meaning they're not giving anything back. They're not giving any support back. It's all conditional. See, the problem is, you know, when you find these people who are seeking conditional returns, you need to ask yourself, why is the account even open? See, this is how mental health works. You go out, you do things, and now you're wrecking your brain because you realize that what you did was not reciprocated or given back in return. Well, that's not the problem. The problem is you. You never had the ability to tell yourself that I probably should walk away from the situation or shut it down. Know that you have the strength and the ability to shut anything down and to be able to make a decision that's going to set you up for the future. Again, that starts with getting people around you who are smart. So as I say all the time, people, make sure that when you are in a position to be out of balance or be in the negative, you just simply know when to shut that account down. And by shutting it down, you'll find your true meaning. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you better make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. And don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.